Hey, how's it going? My name is Yash Tracy. I'm the owner of GNT Branding, a graphic design and web development firm. This is a hopefully brief tutorial on how to use our Waterfall productivity system that we've built into a Notion template that you can download for free at gntbranding.com. Okay, so this is the system that we use to run our entire business. We developed this template over the course of about 3 months when we originally switched from using apps like Todoist, Evernote, and a bunch of others to using Notion as the primary productivity hub for all of our project management, meeting notes. We use it as a CRM, everything. We developed this system because while there were a lot of really good second brain Notion templates out there, when we started using Notion, most of those systems, while great for advanced Notion users, for us, kind of just starting out, they were a little complicated, and most were built on a system of sort of unending database hierarchies and kind of pages within backlink pages, within other databases within pages. And the thing is, over the course of like a month of consistent use, those templates would get so messy and disorganized that instead of saving us time, they generally ended up costing us time. Just finding things, trying to get organized, cleaning up the day's quickly added events and tasks. You know how it goes. So in light of that fact, we created this template based on what we're calling the Waterfall system, which is probably a stupid name, but it's what we went with. The basic idea here is that everything you have going on today, tomorrow, and everything you've got going on in the foreseeable future can be seen and accessed at a glance on a single page within the Notion template. I think that for people getting started with Notion, I think this works really, really well as sort of an introductory productivity system. And now I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so here's how to use this template. We call it Waterfall because the idea here is that everything, tasks that come up in the day, random thoughts, whatever, they start at the top when they seem super important, and then over the course of however long, as it becomes more and more evident that some of those were less and less important, you filter those down until eventually they get dumped into your archived brain dump database for sorting, or you can go back to them later. But the idea here is that you're identifying that which is most important right now for whatever project, whatever you're working on, and you're sort of eliminating or passing down that which becomes apparent is no longer important. And so let's open this guy up. Basically, we've got, what do we got? Five main sections here. You're going to have your capture section, the projects that you're working on at any given time. These are either temporal, because you can assign priority to them based on date, or they just exist for however long the project goes. You've got all of today's tasks and habits. In this section, you've got all of tomorrow's tasks and habits in this section, and then you've got your next 7 days. And by this point, tasks that started up in your capture or in your today section have now been filtered down, and those that typically end up in the low priority column in your next 7 days, if they're still there the following week, you probably want to think about dumping them into the brain dump, categorizing them, tagging them, and coming back to them later whenever you have free time to sort of go back and see what it is that you were never able to get to. Down at the very bottom is everything in all of these sections is going to be plotted onto a month calendar, so that you can see absolutely everything that's going on at any given time. Obviously, you can view this in the calendar view as well as the timeline view. And so, without clicking anything, your entire month is you can see at a single glance. You can edit any task, any project, and you can see exactly how your timelines and everything is unfolding without having to go anywhere. So I'm going to start real quick, kind of go through all this, and if you ever have any questions after you've downloaded this and played around with it yourself, feel free to reach out to us at hello@gntbranding.com. Very top, this is something that I just like to do. I have kind of a running list of, I don't know, reminders or certain things I just want to keep in mind. What's a good example? Like, I think I read somewhere once, probably Ali Abdaal, had told me, get to anything in the first thing that you get to is if anybody else is waiting on that thing. So if it's an email or if it's a task that I was asked for, get to all those things first before getting to any of your other stuff that isn't sort of time dependent and no one's waiting for. So I put things like that at the very top. Whenever I open this, I'm just reminded that those are the things I want to keep in mind for the day. Like I mentioned in the intro, this is a very kind of easy to use sort of introductory template. If you download this and you're getting started out in Notion and you want to kind of explore what other people have done and get a little bit more advanced with it, we put a link here to 150 free Notion templates that they take up the entire spectrum of complexity as far as what this app is able to do. So feel free to check those out. They're all free to download. And we've definitely played around with some of those, over the course of getting to know the app. First major section is going to be a capture section. We have broken this out into kind of 5 major buckets that we found typically take up the most, are the most intuitive for us to have. Random thoughts. You're typically reading articles, books, or whatever. So we've got a bucket for thoughts, tasks there. Your work notes, your personal notes, and your finances. I'm going to go through each one of these just real quick. Random thoughts. The way most of these are set up is a version of the way that the main page is set up. You've got your general notes where you can just click the new Notion button and add new ones as they come up. You just go in here, random thought. This happens to me all the time at the gym. I go to the gym, I'm working out, and then all of a sudden I'll remember this thing that happened a week ago, and I said that I was going to call mom back or whatever it is. So I'll add that in there, and then I'll know when I get back to my computer to check these general notes and then organize them appropriately. You've got your capture ideas here in case this database is connected with the calendar view database, and so anything that you put in here and add a date to is going to be plotted on your calendar and vice versa. So if you're typically how this usually works for us is, you're going through meetings, you have a couple Zooms, and then somebody mentions that, hey, by the way, we're getting together for, this event or this thing on the 14th of June. You can go ahead and just, without thinking, without doing a thing, click that down, add it here. It's automatically attributed the date of the 14th, and so now the next time that you go in there, that event is already on your database and the capture idea database, and then you can organize this differently as you see fit. But the idea is that no matter what's going on, we're always busy, we're always doing a million things, we're always multitasking. The idea is that you can just go in here and really easily just add quick notes and thoughts. That's basically the idea for the rest of these capture buckets. Reading the exact same one, we've pre-made all these views for you with your general, whatever you're reading. You've got your books. We've started you out with a couple of, basically it seems like everybody using Notion is probably reading at least one of these. You've got your articles, your ebooks, your ebook notes, your essay resources, and each one of those has a pre-made template where click one button and you've got your notes section, your resources section, your ideas section. It's all categorized for you. So that's really, really helpful. Work notes, same basic premise as the random thoughts. You've got your button, your random to-dos as they come up. You can add them here. You can add them here. You can attribute a date, and these are all related. And then come back to them later, organize them appropriately as far as the rest of the template is concerned. Work notes, the exact same thing as the other two. And it's just all this is just categorizing, organizing, and making sure that with the click of one button, you get to see absolutely everything that's going on at any given time, and you're not bouncing back and forth between this database or this backlink page. Your finances, we've added a little kind of bonus finance tracker series of databases here filled with dummy information. Feel free to go through this, and if you need a more detailed explanation of how to use this, there'll be a link below to that video as well. So those are your basic captures. That's where it all starts. When you're just kind of roaming through your day and capturing information, kind of plotting, randomly thinking, this is all that. Now we move down to the project section. This is kind of the brain of the operation. These are going to be your main sort of outside of traditional timeline area. These are projects that you can either prioritize by date right here in this timeline view calendar, which is connected to this database. You add these in. So this is like if today, for example, this is the top priority for me, then this is going to be something that no matter what else happens, I have to finish this, and I'll just know that it'll be at the very top of the template here. And then we get into the projects. And these are the most important parts. So we've kind of tried to categorize this as intuitively as possible. Typically, you've got a major project that you're working on, and this project is going to have tasks and subtasks assigned to it, but you want to kind of in your brain, you want to make sure that you see this as your top priority. As one goes through this priority, sends whatever this chunk of work is back to the client, this now goes into a waiting pool. Usually you're not just working on one project, so we've added multiple columns for projects that are in waiting or being reviewed by the client. We've got a personal column here where you can put all your personal projects. A waiting one for, I don't know, if something completely falls through the cracks, you don't know where to put it. It's not being worked on right now. It's kind of on hold, maybe permanently, maybe whatever. You've got that, and then once any one of these projects has finished, you've given all your deliverables to the client. This now needs to get paid, so you're going to make sure to put it in the invoice column so that you know to send that client an invoice. And once that invoice has been paid, you get to dump it into your invoiced and paid column there, and it disappears. It's archived. Now, we've preloaded each one of these projects with a project template, one that we use. One that we found is just the most intuitive. You click the template button, you add your task, that automatically relates this task to this project. You've got your notes and your resources, so this is like a drive folder with assets from the client, and these are notes from the meeting, what have you. But all of that is saved into this project that, of course, then takes priority along this spectrum. Now we've got projects are set. Now it's time to set up your day. Your day is going to consist of what? High priority, middle priority, or low priority tasks. And it's probably also going to consist of a bunch of tasks that will take under 20 minutes to do. So that's the first column. Anything in this column you're going to get to first, immediately. It doesn't matter if it's just respond to an email or take the dog out for a walk, whatever it is. This is where this goes. Anything that takes more than 20 minutes is going to be a task that's probably going to have to occupy one of these priorities. Obviously, each one of these tasks is also preset with a template that you can load as soon as you're in here. And now this gets pretty cool. So you've obviously got your task notes section here and your task notes in here, and all of these are connected. As soon as you make this, let's do, what is today? The 30th. So this is task 530 on May 30th, and I'm going to actually relate, this is a task that I want to relate to project 1. And so as soon as I do that, this project 1 is going to load with that task, and I'm going to know that this is part of it, and it will be there until I move it somewhere else. Also, task 530 that we've just had here, well, now this task is, let's say it's a website project, or let's say it's a brochure. You've done the work for the brochure. You send it over to the client. Well, that was the first iteration of the brochure. It was 10 pages that you worked on that. Well, that was yesterday that we actually did that. And how long did it take? Well, that took about 2.5 hours. So now we've got version number, when the changes were made, and the number of hours put in on that project saved here. Well, now the client gets back to you with their revisions. Well, now you're on to version 2. You're going to put your notes of what that is. You're going to put the date that you made all those changes, and you're going to put the hours in. So This we found is incredibly beneficial, more often than not, because like when you're dealing with 4 or 5 different projects at a time, a bunch of different requests, a bunch of different revisions, it's really, really easy to sort of forget A, what you did, B, when you did it, C, like how it was related to anything else, and most importantly, because you're trying to get paid, the amount of time that you put in on that. Now, we realize that most projects are done on a project-to-project basis. That's the way we work as well. But internally, we like to track the amount of hours each task took, and then at the end of all those tasks, we get to go to the project itself and then go through each of those tasks, and then we can see how many hours were accumulated for each one of those tasks on this project. And then when that happens, that project gets to be put into it for invoicing, and we know exactly how much money we made on that and how much we should be charging the client, and so on and so forth. Now, that's today's. At the end of this day, you're going to have some tasks that you finished, good for you, gold star, and you're going to have some tasks that didn't get finished. Well, then obviously you're going to move those to do tomorrow. The tomorrow is set up exactly the way today's is, with the pre-made templates each one of the tasks and subtasks. And then you've got your twice weekly habits, which is probably going to be, a tomorrow thing, day after tomorrow thing. You've got your daily habits on today. Let's go ahead and close this because we're done with that. Tomorrow, these are going to be the tasks that we're dealing with. And then after tomorrow, well, then that's your next 7 days. Okay, so we've now had a week where we've finished some tasks, we've archived some tasks, and we didn't get to some tasks. Now, at this point here, we're going to be able to see those tasks that, this seemed important to me at the time, but this is no longer important to me. I have no idea when I'm going to get to it either. So you know what? I'm just going to dump this task. I'm going to get rid of that task, and I'm going to put it at this bottom brain dump. This bottom brain dump will be organized also by priority. But you've got 2 pre-made views here, the board view or the list view. And so here, at any given time, you just know that, look, here are a bunch of things I wanted to get to, additions to my personal website, revisions to my personal brand, I don't know, a message that I got somewhere that wasn't super important, but maybe I'll get back to one day or whatever, a book idea. It doesn't really matter. This is all the tasks that came up throughout the week that I just ended up not being important and are really just filler and taking up my time and mental energy. So now they're dumped here. I no longer have to think about these until I find myself with time later on to get back to them. Now, that's the basic premise. So now you've gone through your entire week. Your projects are set. You're accumulating hours and tracking everything. You're capturing ideas, thoughts, notes, events, whatever, at the click of a button. Super easy. All of this is available for you to view at a glance. You don't have to, leave this page for any reason. And if you're hoping to kind of get a better sense of what your month is going to look like, maybe the next month, all these tasks, as they're added to the top of the waterfall template, will start to become, will be added to this bottom calendar here. And here you get to, actually I have this event on the 25th. I'm not going to be able to get to this task. So you're going to move that to the 26th. Of course, as soon as you move that to the 26th, its date in its in wherever it landed up here is going to automatically be updated. So it'll go from today to tomorrow, whatever the date happens to be, whatever the date change happens to be. And you'll be able to see absolutely everything going on this macro level in this calendar, as well as move tasks to different days, depending on what's more convenient. Go into each task directly, change its associated project, add notes as you will. And this entire time, while you're organizing your entire life and adding whatever note, whatever thought, event, alteration that you want, you're never leaving this space. And it's always available to you at any given time. And then at the end of the day, when everything has been cleaned up, organized, and you're ready to go have dinner or what have you, you can close this entire thing up and you're good for the night. We think this template works really, really well. Again, it is, I would say it's kind of a really good introductory template because it is so intuitive. But if you're looking for, kind of more advanced stuff, or I don't know, this isn't your cup of tea, then there's plenty of those out there. But I think if you're someone who's just looking to organize everything that's going on, and you maybe have found yourself hating how disorganized and cluttered some of those other templates can get real quick, then I invite you to download this for free at gntbranding.com. Please email us at hello@gntbranding.com if you have any questions or need anything else. And we hope you find this helpful, and look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.